Hello ant keepers, today I will show you what are the ants that you can find in Alaska. So I'm going to show you the 7 ants that live here and what they eat, where they live, and pretty much all you need to know if you want to catch them or if you want to catch the queen or you just want to look at them and find them. So we're going to kick it off with carpenter ants. Now carpenter ants, as you know, are large. They can get to 2 to 13 millimeters long. Only the workers and the queens can get 25 to 30 millimeters long. So those are pretty big ants. The species that live here are black, red, and western carpenter ants. And what they eat is normally honey, sap, or live and dead insects. Those are their favorite picks. Also, as being a pet, you have to know the ups and downs. Ups is that they're pretty large and they're pretty fun to watch, and the downs is that if they get out, like they like to get their nests in wooden areas, they can get a nest on your house, which is not good. So try to keep them safe and really put into their if you're gonna keep them, you can put them into their outworld or whatever you're gonna keep them in. So that's for keeping them. Also in the wild, if you want to find them, you can find them or either in rotten logs that have fallen down or any place that there's rotten or wet logs or just wood. So the next up is fire ants. Now the species that live here is like Alaskan fire ants. Now this fire ants are really known for their aggressive behavior. Their size is normally 3 to 7 millimeters long. For the workers, queens are bigger as usual, and they eat almost everything, but they really love meat. You can feed them a mealworm, a superworm. They mostly like mealworms. A guy even fed him a chicken head. So you can feed them anything, almost anything, but they really like meat. Now, the colors are red, brown, but mostly red, and there are ups and downs also in keeping them. First, it's pretty easy because you can just to feed them. It's pretty easy because you can just get by a pet store or anyone near a mealworms or anything and just feed them. But also their downs is that they're like the escape artists of ants. They can get out really, really easily. So they will find ways, like if there's a weak spot in your terrarium or any place you're finding them, they're gonna try to chew. And also their sting is pretty painful and you do not want to get that. I haven't, thank goodness. So you have to really know those ups and downs. So if you want to keep them as a pet, know that you have to have a very secure place where you're going to keep them and try to put your hand in there less as possible. Next is the harvester ants. Now, that's my favorite species. I have not found them here in Alaska, but the species that live here are western harvester ants. If you find any, please comment down below where you found them so I can go look at them or anything, because I really want to see them here in Alaska because I haven't seen them. Their size is normally 6 to 10 millimeters long. What they eat, as their name, harvester ants, they like to eat seeds and insects also. So western harvester ants really love dandelion seeds. As insects, they can eat anything, I guess. They're just insects. You can feed them anything. So their colors are normally red, and they can get brownish too, but these are normally red. The queens are larger as normal, but there are ups and downs too. First, they're pretty easy. You just feed them some seeds and, like I said, a mealworm or anything or a cricket. But their downs is that their sting and bite can be painful. Not as painful as fire ants. As it gets worse by the numbers. So if you have a lot and for some reason you get stung, it will hurt. It's not that big of a deal, but it will hurt. Next up are pavement ants. Now, pavement ants, as their name, you can find them near pavements or almost anywhere, like in rocks or normally by pavements, and they're polygynous. I think that's how you say it. I don't know, but that means they have multiple queens if the nest is long enough. And I forgot to tell you, also fire ants are polygynous. If their nests are big enough, they can have multiple queens. Also, food. They eat anything, literally. You can even feed them a hot dog and they won't like it. But yeah, they just, in the wild, anything a human drops, they eat it. So yeah, they can eat seeds also. They can eat mealworms. They can eat anything. If you don't want something, if you don't want, let's say, a little piece of meat, I don't know, if you're picky because of the fat, you can just feed them that and they'll eat it. Also, their size is really, really small, 2.5 to 3.5 millimeters. They can get a little bit bigger, but they are really, really small. Queens are larger, as usual, but their colors are red, brown, black, or all of them combined. And they're pretty easy to keep as pets. But as usual, don't touch them because in numbers, they can really sting and hurt. Next up is turfgrass ants. Now, turfgrass ants are also known as Lasius or Lasius. I don't know how you how you spell it. No, how you pronounce it. I know how you spell it. So they are, for my opinion, the best ants to keep as pets because their mandibles are not that strong, and if they bite you, you won't almost any feel it because they're really weak in that. And also, they eat seeds, nectar, sap, insects, and they can even do fungi from plants around. The size is about 3 to 4 millimeters long. The queens are larger, and the colors are brown, or like all shades of brown, light brown, dark brown, medium brown. I don't know, coffee brown. And also, they, like I said, they're the best as pets, and I think that if you want to find a really easy beginner ant to keep, you should go at turfgrass or Lasius or Lasius. And these are also known as Lasius or Lasius non-Niger. So, yeah, that's a good thing to know. Formica ants, or field ants. They like to not lay their eggs. They like to start their colonies almost anywhere. By wood, on wood, and by golf courses or golf places. Also under really large rocks. If you lift up a rock and you see a whole bunch of ants, you can even catch a queen there. That's how I caught some queens. I just lifted up a rock. There's a bunch of Lasius. There's a bunch of Formica ants. I looked and I found a queen, which you can definitely know they're much, much larger. And I just caught it with a test tube and I put it into a test tube setup. I might do a video about her, even though I put her into a little terrarium, which I might never see her again. But yeah, their size is about 3 to 7 millimeters long. Queens are larger. They are red, black, brown, and they can even get to tan. They're normally tan in, like, I don't remember, the underside or like in the underside, and they're black and brown and like in their head and abdomen. So they are pretty easy to keep as pets, but as usual, don't get bitten by them. I don't think they can sting. I'm not sure they can sting, but yeah, they're pretty easy pets to keep if you want to keep them as pets. Then mound ants. As their name, you're going to see big, big mounds if you see a colony of them. And the species that lives here are Alechny, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I think it's Alechny mound ants. And they're 3 to 5 millimeters long. The queens can even get to 12 millimeters long, and they eat nectar, sap, and some insects. So, as usual, you can feed them. You can put a test tube with sugar water, and they will enjoy that. Also, their colors are very, very cool. So they can get crimson. Again, I think crimson is at their heads and their abdomen or their underside, and it's black and brown, the opposite of the other one, that is. Now, that was the last one. Those are the 7 ants. If you have any questions about a specific one, just write down below any of your questions, and there you go. That's my little tutorial for ants, Alaska. See you later.